Welcome to episode 20 of the Salaploosa Knits video cast. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Today is Friday, it's August the 3rd, and yeah, it's a pretty grey and gloomy day outside today. But it's also very humid, so yeah, it's not very easy to get dressed these days. I'm having some coffee this morning. I just got back from the gym and I am ridiculously sore today after my workouts earlier this week. So I might be sitting unnaturally still today. There's nothing wrong, I'm just quite sore. So there you have that. Also, if it is your first time stopping by, you're probably quite confused because I'm just rambling and you still don't know what this is. But this is what it is. It's a video podcast primarily about knitting, and sometimes some crochet, sometimes some sewing, and basically just doing all the crafts that I love and doing as much of them as possible. If you want to get in touch with me, I am Salapaloosa Knits on Instagram. I am Salapaloosa on Ravelry, and if you have any questions, inquiries, collaborations, anything like that, please feel free to pop me an email at salapaloosanknits@gmail.com. We have a Ravelry group, which is Salapaloosa Knits Podcast. Enter that in the groups tab on Ravelry and you should be able to find us. Pardon. My name is Elizabeth and I'm coming to you from the beautiful city of Bergen, which is located in the western part of Norway. And this is where I live with my wonderful long-term boyfriend Christian, and where I work in a psychiatric hospital, and where all the crafting and making happens. What else? Is that all of the admin? I think, no, it's not. I need to remind you that the knit along that I am doing with Rachel of Knit and Knitabilities and Stevie of BB's Handmade Dress is officially ongoing. It started August 1st and will run through September, and it's called the Fall Prep Cow, and it is basically just knit whatever you want to wear for fall, and it could be a big project, it can be a small project, just whatever you want to be wearing when the leaves turn wherever you're at, and you'll be prepared with some new toasty and comfy, cozy items to wear. So that's the gist of it. If you want to play along, please pop into the Ravelry group, and we have a chatter thread going. There's also a chatter thread in Stevie's podcast group on Ravelry and in Rachel's. And yes, do join in and chatter along. I will draw a special prize from the chatter thread as well, as a little extra prize, so do feel free to be active in the thread and show everyone what you're working on and what you want to do and things like that. Yes, if you want to donate a prize for the knit along, do please get in touch with me. I would really appreciate it, and I know there are a lot of incredible makers out there and a lot of incredible podcasters, so I'm just incredibly honoured if you'd like to donate something as a prize for the knit along, so do get in touch with me if you'd like to. Also, the big secret project that I've been working on for quite a while, at least one of the biggest ones, has been revealed. I did an announcement video on my Instagram TV this week, and I guess I should tell you about it on the podcast as well, in case you haven't seen that or you're not that active on Instagram. So here's the thing. I have made a Harry Potter inspired sock collection. It is called the Hallows Sock Collection, and it is inspired by the Deathly Hallows, and there will be 3 different patterns and 3 very different socks, and each of them are inspired by their own respective hallow. And yes, the first one will be released mid-August, hopefully, and the second one mid-September, and then the third one in mid-October. I am planning on doing a pre-sale on it so that you can grab a copy if you want it to be a mystery. If not, it will be released in mid-August and you can see it for yourself, but I'll come back with particulars when it's a little bit closer in time. Yes, I'm extremely excited about it. The patterns are currently being test knitted, and I've got some absolutely brilliant testers on board, which I'm super thrilled about and very grateful for. And yes, until it's ready, you know, grab a sherbet lemon and start picking out colours for your socks. Alright, why don't you grab your preferred cozy beverage and let's jump into the main portion of the podcast where I talk about all of my makes. Okay, let's see where to begin. I'm going to start with some crochet today, actually, because last week I said I have some crochet for you, and then it turned out that I had not brought with me my crocheting pieces, and I just talked about it, which isn't very interesting. So I'm going to show you this week. Very good. What I talked about last week was that I found some incredibly beautiful mercerized cotton crochet yarn while I was in Spain on holiday, and it just really got me worked up and just inspired, and I wanted to make some pieces to start crocheting again. And so I decided to start hooking Mirror the Mermaid, which is a Kikalat pattern. And like I said last week, I started this project when I was in Spain, and it was just completely horrible because I used a horrendous needle that I picked up at like a dollar store, and it was just terrible to work with. So when I got home, I started working on it one more time. I just tinked back the entire thing and started over with a very good crochet hook, which is the Clover Amour crochet hook. It's a 1.75mm hook, and I think that might be is that an O needle? I don't know. It's 1.75mm, and let me tell you, I absolutely love to crochet with this hook. It just honestly made all the difference in the world. This is without a doubt the best crochet hook that I have ever tried, and I'm incredibly happy about getting a few of these in Spain. You can see all of that in my previous episode 19, and this hook makes me want to crochet on the project so much more than I would if I didn't have a hook that I loved working with. And it's just so smooth, and it just goes through the loops incredibly easily. It's very comfortable to hold on to, and it's lightweight. It rests very comfortable in my hand. So I'm just all in all super pleased with this one. If you're into crocheting, you might want to check it out if you're looking for a new crochet hook. It's called the Clover Amour hooks. What else? Yes. All right. So far, what I've done in this beautiful yarn by Tropical Lane, it's called. The yarn is called Tropical Cotton. It's an Italian yarn. It doesn't have a color number on it, so I don't know what it is, but it is quite pretty. And when I saw this, I immediately thought of this mermaid pattern. So I'm very pleased with the color and the yarn. It's very good to work with. But this is what I've done. When I was in Spain, I made the arms for the mermaid, and I made the fins, and I started on the, what do you call it, the sort of the part that's, you know, where the legs ought to be, this part, the mermaid leg fin part, I don't know what to call it. I had made all of these different pieces, and I was going quite far along on it, but it was just so horrible to work with that hook, and I realized that when I got the great crochet hook, my gauge changed completely. So I decided to take it all back and start over. So I have made the two little fins, and they look like this, and they are going to be attached on the bottom, and then the tail, should I call it a tail? I'm just going with it. It's the mermaid's tail, okay? The tail part, this leg part, is going to be on top, and then these cute little fins are at the bottom. But this is everything I've got to show you. Reason being, it's been quite a while since I did a lot of crochet, and I've found that I've struggled with finding a consistent gauge when I crochet, and so I had this fin to start with, and then I made another one which turned out to be way smaller with just a way tighter gauge on it, and it doesn't want to focus. There we go. Yeah, with a way tighter gauge, and it's so much smaller. And this is not the second fin I've made. I think I've made four times. I tried to match up the gauge to this one, and I just can't seem to do it. So I'm thinking that I probably made a mistake here somewhere. So it just isn't going to work. Look at the difference in the size of these. It's quite noticeable when you see them next to each other. So what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna do one more right away and try to see if the second one will turn out like the small one, and if not, I might just need some more practice, because I mean, it shouldn't really be that hard. I'm using the same pattern. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to make two sort of similar sized fins. I mean, look at these. It's just ridiculous. They are completely different. Completely different. But yeah, thank goodness the needle and the yarn is great to work with, so I'm not that bummed out about it. Clearly, if I were, I wouldn't have made like 4 or 5 different fins just to try to get it the right size. Yeah, that's probably a mistake in the first one, because it just seemed like, and yeah, like it wouldn't work out. Impossible, mission impossible. All right. The next thing I want to show you is back to the knitting. It's a new cast on. It's a new pair of socks, and there's been a lot of socks on the podcast lately. There always will be, I'm sure, but I'm going to try to start working on something other than socks. in the near future, this week probably, because you might be growing tired with all of the sock talk. But I do love working on socks, so it's never going to be over with the socks. I cast on a new pair of vanilla socks in a self-striping yarn, and it's a little awkward because I just did the heel flap. It's not the best place to show you, but here they are. This is in a yarn by, oh, there we go. It's in a yarn by Down Sheepy Lane, and it is called Yellow Rain Boots. I got this as a kit with the self-striping, which is this one. Look at that bright yellow. It's so much fun. And such a great name for it too. And with this charcoal contrasting mini, and this was a kit that I got from down Sheepy Lane. Doesn't seem to want to focus right now. And I think I've mentioned this before, but the city where I live, Bergen, it's the rainiest city in Europe. So this colorway just had to come live with me. Yellow Rain Boots. And I am knitting this on Chiago red lace needles. I think this is a size, is it a 0 or a 1? No, can't tell. I thought there was a printer somewhere. There we go. It's a size 0, so a 2mm needle. And I'm doing this magic loop. I am doing a 52 stitch count and a dropped heel with a heel flap and gusset. And yes, it's just a really fun yarn to knit up. It just zooms off the needles because I just want to get to the next bright yellow part, which is a lot of fun. And yes, they seem to be zooming off the needles. I started these because what happened was that Christian had a night shift, and I had been redecorating our hallway, and I was just really tired, and it was extremely late. It was far into the early hours of the night, I'd say, and I was so tired from painting, and I just sat down. I started the Hey Sister podcast, and I just grabbed something fun, which was their self-striping, and I just cast on, and I basically did all of this just from watching one episode of their podcast, so that was great. And just, yes, it shows how quickly it is to work with self-striping yarn, because you know, you just really want to get to the next colour section, which is great. This project is living in my lovely Girl So Sheepy lemon bag, which I got in my fibre share package, and I love this bag so much. I can't even tell you. I keep changing all of my projects around to fit in this bag when I'm going out, just because I want to bring it with me. And it's so summery and fun, and oh, I love it. Also in my fibre share was this Lanolin Hannah Body Balm by Tuft Woolens, which I have been dying to try for ages. And this is the Russian flower one, and it is so incredibly soft and lovely. The consistency of this is just perfect. I was afraid that I might melt because our weather has been extremely hot lately, but it just stays in the stick, and it's so easy and portable, and the smell is incredible, and I love it so much. And it's just been lovely to have something in my knitting bag to make my hands feel you know, softened again after working with all of the wool and stuff like that. And I've always had like a teeny tiny hand cream or something in my project bags or in my handbags, but they are usually very what's the word? I don't know, it's just, they are clearly made with a lot of artificial ingredients, and this is just totally natural, and it just feels so good on your hands. And oh no, I love these. I don't know what I'm going to do when this runs out. I think Tuft might ship across the sea to me, but I think it's very, very expensive. Yeah, but for now I still have some left, and I've been using this every day, and I honestly thought that I would have used it all up by now, but there's actually quite a bit left, and I keep using this several times a day. That's very, very good. Okay, so that's that. Let's stick with the knitting, since that's where we're at. For our fall prep cal, I decided to cast on the Waiting for Henry socks by the very talented Tabitha Ganji, I think is her last name. She is one of the two ladies extraordinaire of the Hey Sister podcast and the Hey Sister Yarn Co. And it's just such a beautiful pattern, and I've been wanting to knit on it for quite a while, but I thought I'd save it for I Knit Long. And so, August 1st, I decided to cast it on. I'd have my yarn caked up and ready to go for weeks, but that was a lot of fun to finally be able to grab onto it. Okay, so then I'll show you the yarn first. I'm knitting the smallest size of the pattern. I think it's called just called XS. And the yarn I'm knitting it with, the main colour is Morning Star by Yantan Tatara Yarns. I have no idea how to pronounce that, just go with me. And the contrasting colours I'm using is Magenta by Vicky Brown Designs. There we go, come on. Yeah, well, you can see the colour, you get the gist of it. And this little lovely piece, which, what is it called again? I'm gonna need to check it out because I can't remember. It's called Beware the Jade Dragon, and it's by Lamington Lass Yarns. Alrighty, are you ready to see the socks? I'm very ready to show you. Alright, here we go. These are the Waiting for Henry socks, and I am so pleased with the way it's knitting up. I'm loving working on these. I really do want to just keep knitting on them all of the time, but I've really struggled to keep working on all of my projects and not just this particular one, because it's so wonderful. I love working on it. It's so much fun, and I just can't wait. Now it's time to change into the Beware of the Jade Dragon colour, this beautiful crimson blue type. It's not crimson blue, that's not right. This beautiful bright blue, anyways, jade, I guess. And it's another colourwork section with this blue, and then there's another one of these going the other way, and then it's done with the colourwork, I think. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I highly recommend this pattern. If you haven't done a lot of colourwork before, this is just such an easy way to gradually go into it, and it's just a very clear and well written pattern. Great charts and just beautiful. I'm so happy with this. I can't wait to get to work more on it, and yes. Okay, that's that. Next up, I've got something completely different. I have been starting to do some embroidery again, some hand embroidery, and I haven't done it for a really long time, but I've been wanting to for a really long time. And I got a kit from Bustle and Sew right before Christmas, because I thought when I went on Christmas holiday it would be just a great time to do some work, some needlepoint, and just relax with that. So I got this incredibly cute pattern. It's called Rosie's Houseplants. It's a little bit crinkly, the paper, but it looks like this. And if you know me, you know that I love cacti, I love green plants, I love flowers. So this just seemed like the absolute perfect project for me to start embroidering. And so I think I was probably pushed over the embroidery edge because I watched Rachel of Knit Knitability's beautiful pillowcases that she had embroidered as a wedding gift, and that just made me think, okay, I need to get started on this. This looks like so much fun. Okay, so this is where I'm at. With the pattern, clearly the hoop I'm using, oh, this needs to be tightened a little bit. Clearly the hoop I'm using is way too small for the pattern, so I'm going to move it around because this was the only hoop I had available. And it is I think I got this hoop from John Lewis in London. And the reason I've been waiting on starting this for so long is because I thought it might be a little bit too complicated. I haven't embroidered in quite a while, and there were a lot of the stitches that I couldn't remember how to do, so I had to look them up, and I just thought that it might not look that good when it was finished. But then I realized that because it's so many different type of stitches on this, I could just use it as a sampler project. I could just use it to practice all my stitches and just have a good time doing it. So that's what I did, and I'm so glad I did. It's just been perfect. I love working on this. For some reason it's been so relaxing, incredibly relaxing. The project, I think, is just such a cute little pattern. And yeah, it's just been brilliant. I can't wait to have it finished and to put it up. The back of it looks ridiculous because I've just been, pulling my thread all over the place and changing locations with the same thread and not bothering to secure it and cut it and put it on another place. I've just been pulling it all over the place in the back, but I don't care. I'm hanging it up and you won't see the back anyways. So there you have it. Alright, it's working perfectly as the sampling piece. I've just been feeling incredibly inspired by looking at different Instagram embroidery accounts like Namaste Embroidery. I think her name is Jessica Long or Lang. Jessica Long, I think, who's incredibly talented and just so inspiring. And yes, it's just been making me feel really motivated to get better at crocheting, at hand embroidery. And yes, if you have any tips on any, I'd like to get some more kits, but most of the ones I've seen who's sort of modern embroidery kits, they have been located in the US, which makes the shipping just pretty much ridiculous for me. So if you know anyone, preferably in the UK or in Europe or something like that, please give me a heads up, because I'd love to get another one. And just because I'm just starting up with embroidery, I think it would be good to get a kit so I don't have to buy a whole lot of different threads when I don't know how long I'll be into this. You know, I don't want to spend a lot of money on something if I don't know I'm going to be doing this for quite a while. I did actually see one shop, I cannot remember the name of it, but I found an Etsy shop in, I think it was in Tel Aviv, located in Tel Aviv, and they had some gorgeous little kits, so I might try that one. Anyways, do let me know. And also, if you've been wanting to try embroidery, hand embroidery, do give it a go. I guess it's not for everyone, but I've just been finding it to be so relaxing. And there's so many different stitches on here. There's satin stitches and back stitches and basket weave stitches and long and short stitches and French knots and yeah, just there's tons of different ones, and it's been I just feel like I've been learning so much in so little time, and it's just been great. One thing I did notice when I started to look at some instructional videos to make sure I did my technique was somewhat right, somebody said that during the satin stitch you should make sure you're doing it a little bit on an angle, because that would look a lot better than doing it just straight up and down. So I did that on these little cacti here, but then I realized that maybe I should have done all of them at exactly the same angle, instead of done like the main ones in this angle and then the shorter ones it's pointing upwards, so I did it sort of slanted that way. I'm not sure if that's the correct way to do it. It might have been better if I just did them at the exact same slant all the way. I don't know. Is there a right and wrong here? If there is, please let me know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun. All right. I think that's actually that's all of the projects I've been working on this week. So just all new, all different, which is very fun. And over to the acquisitions. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee before I start ranting on this one because I'm so excited. Okay. I got a project bag. It's by Amelia Joy on Etsy. I love this bag so much. I've been looking at bags with this particular fabric for quite a while, and I've really wanted this fabric, a bag in this fabric, because I think it's so incredibly cute. And I realized that I didn't really have my hair is so weird today. I just have this crazy, very loose, very loosey-goosey braid, which looked very good this morning, but after, you know, a workout and things like that, it's just looking like a mess. But whatever, you're not here to look at a perfect braid, you're here to look at the knitting, I think. Okay, acquisitions, project bag. I didn't have a big project bag, I only have tiny sock-sized ones. So I've been wanting to get a larger one for a sweater project and things like that. And boy did I. This is so big, it's currently hosting all of the projects that I'm working on, including the entire lemon Girl So Sheepy bag is living in this. And here it is. I feel like it doesn't really come across on the camera how large this is, but it is large, it's very large, and it's just this very cute squirrel fabric. It's got a zipper on top, it's got very sturdy interfacing, it stands up on its own, completely uninhibited, which I like. and it's just got a plain white inside, which I think works very well with this fabric. And it's got a little clasp on the inside, which is great. And it's also got this little tag on the side, so you can add on a, I guess, a handle or, you know, whatever. Some stitch markers. And on the zipper is this very cute little leaf. There we go. Yeah. It's just really well made. The details are beautiful in this. I love the fabric. Do check out her store. This is her tag. I think I may actually have her card as well in the bag. Let me just check. That would be very smart if I did that. Yes, I did. There we go. ameliaxjoy.etsy.com. Yes, highly recommended. I'm thinking I might actually get another one of these type wedge style bags, but maybe one that's a little bit smaller, because I don't think I need several of these super large ones, although I really do want one more, because I often, especially now in fall, I often work on 2 different sweater projects at the same time. Okay, that's that one. Next acquisition is, where did they go? Maybe I have lost them. No, I haven't. It's right here. This popped into my mailbox today, actually. So I haven't used them yet, but I'm so excited. These are a couple of stitch markers from the lovely Hannah of the Corner of Craft, and she makes these beaded stitch markers that are adorable, and I got 2. I've never been able to get onto her site to get some of her stitch markers in time before they're all sold out, but this time I happened to be on I just opened the Instagram app just like 5 seconds after she'd put out a post saying that she'd updated her shop, so I just jumped on over to her page, thecornerofcraft.co.uk, and I grabbed these 2 little cuties. It's a little chicken and a little lucky cat. Isn't that cute? They are so adorable. I cannot wait to use these. I just can't get enough. Oh, I can't wait to use them. I'm so thrilled with these. They are so cute. Oh, all right. I think that's actually all of my acquisitions this week. I haven't been, purchasing too much. We just came home from holiday in Spain, and I did quite a bit of shopping there, and yeah. Not all weeks are meant for huge acquisitions. And also what I've been working on a lot the past week is I decided to redecorate our hallway. So we repainted in this color. It was like this yellowy white color previously, which I did not really like. And all of the doors were white, but it was also sort of a yellowy white color, like a cream white, and I don't really know why. I guess it's just an aesthetical thing that when doors and edges and things like that are supposed to be white, I like it to be like the crispest possible white that you can get. So I painted a hallway in a colour called Soft Mint. It's kind of a little bit the same colour as my little calculator here. But sort of this colour, sort of similar to this colour, like a pale mint colour. And I did all of the doors and the edging on the walls, and all of the scaffolding and things like that in just a crisp, super crisp white. And we got some new furniture and this beautiful new light fixture that I'm so pleased with, for the ceiling, but it took forever to assemble because you need to hand assemble like about 100 of these little prisms, these crystal prisms that were going, like it's like a 4-tier thing, and it's got these prisms all the way across, and it looked beautiful and exactly the way I wanted it, but it took forever to put up. And I was sitting there with these tiny little gloves just to not put my fingerprints on the prisms, and just thinking that, oh, I could have been knitting, but I'm super pleased with the way it turned out. So it turns out we have moved into Blabber. If you didn't realize, this is entirely non-knit related. We were initially having dinner guests tonight, but they had some car trouble and they actually stuck in another part of the country, which means that dinner's off the table, and I suddenly had some time to record, which was great. I thought I wouldn't be able to until next week, because I'm working all of this weekend, but yeah, well, here we are. I've got an episode ready for you, girls. I'm hoping that we can maybe do something fun tonight, because we both got the night off before work in the morning, and yeah, since the dinner party is out, I'll talk to Christian when he gets off work today. Hopefully we can figure something out, maybe the cinema or something. That would be fun. Yes, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me and talking about what I've been making. As always, it's been a lot of fun talking to you guys, and feel free to hit the thumbs up below the video if you had fun too, and feel free to subscribe, and yes, I'd appreciate it if you did. Hope you have a lovely weekend and get a ton of crafting and relaxing done, and I'll talk to you guys hopefully next week again. Bye!